Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Dear Brother Podcast. This is our 6 a.m. show. Good morning, everybody. I am here Monday, Thursday, and Friday. But good morning. I hope everybody's doing well, man. Good morning to you all. I want to get into it. I don't have a long show today, about a half hour, 35-minute show, but I want to talk to you all this morning about how freedom starts where fear ends. What are you afraid of, brother? Somebody's in the chat. Good morning, Betty. Good morning, my sister. Good morning. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Good morning, everybody on Facebook. We're streaming live this morning from Facebook and also the Dear Brother podcast on YouTube. Make sure you go over to YouTube, everybody, so that you can be a part of the Dear Brother podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it this morning. Let's talk about it this morning. Let's talk about fear. And let's talk about the fact that the freedom you desire is inside of the fear you overcome. Question is, what you afraid of? What you're afraid of, right? Now, when I say this, I'm not saying it as if I've never been afraid of anything. In fact, before I got on here, I was thinking about a story I could tell. And I think the one of the biggest stories I think that I can communicate through this podcast is I was a pastor for 27 years. And God told me to leave. Now, I had been preaching since 14 years old. It had taken me around the world. I had done a lot of things, right? And then after 27 years, God said, leave it all. Now, this is the thing. That was my life, right? That was my life. That's what I built myself on. And I think a lot of us do the same thing. A lot of us are scared to lose what we have because we have built our life on it. But you got to realize this. Life is not what you do. Life is who you are. And I think a lot of us identify ourselves with what we do. If I had a room full of people right now and I asked them, who are you? You know what most of us would do? We would say, this is what I do, right? That's how we would answer it. If I said, who are you? We would describe what we do. Well, I'm a dad. Well, I'm a mom. Well, I am a business person. I am this, I am that. That's because the world system has us living a life based on what we do, or we try to impress people with what we do. And it's a shame because most of us actually lose ourselves in what we do and we forget who we are, right? Because the fear comes in of who am I without this? It's like some of you brothers have been through divorce and things like that. And the question is, what do I do without this? Or you've been a major businessman, or you had a lot of money at one time. What do I do without this? That's because, and we used to say this in church all the time, you can't build your hopes, or you have to build your hopes on things eternal. In other words, you can't build your hopes on something that will flutter. Money comes, man. Money goes. Relationships come. Relationship goes. Success comes. Success goes. So you can't build who you are based on what you do. And I think, man, that one of the biggest things I do when I go out and I do Dear Brother Live is live events, is I talk to the brothers about redefining who they are, because, you know, a lot of us have been told who we are. And that's a very dangerous place, man, because when people tell you who you are, what happens is you start to build up who you are based on the needs of other people. And that's a dangerous place for a man to be. Because when you start building yourself up on what people desire, what if their desires change? Do you become a different person? And I think a lot of us have been through that in relationships, right? A lot of us have been through that. Have you changed yourself for everybody's desire, right? Your parents need you to be a certain way. Your children need you to be a certain way. The boss on your job needs you to be a certain way. And the fear in that I have for a lot of us brothers is that's where a lot of mental illness comes in. Because how long can you be all these different people, right? How long can you keep on shape shifting for different people? It comes a point in your life, and I know some young guys listen to this podcast and some older guys too, but I warn some of you younger guys right now. It took me, I'm 45. It probably took me 42 years to decide this is who I am and this is who I'm going to be. I ran myself crazy trying to be what the church needed, what my family needed, what the international audience needed, what the people I wrote books for needed. And I became everything but myself, right? Are some of you going through that right now? Are you becoming everything but yourself? Or some of you might be asking, and I feel like somebody's asking your mind, well, how do I become myself? Well, The road to becoming yourself has all to do with controlling your pace. What you mean by that, Christian? Take a pause, right? Life won't give you a pause. This is one thing I learned about life, gentlemen. Life won't give you a pause. You got to take it, right? And the people who need you won't give you a pause. You got to take it. You got to take it. Because if you don't control your pace, listen, the only thing you can do going fast is crash. I promise you that. That's why a lot of us men land in depression. A lot of us men land in a space where we are lonely, because when you run the race for other people, what's left for you? What's left for you? So when we talk about freedom, and it starts with freedom begins where fear ends. When I retired, my biggest fear was, who will I be now? Right? It's like Michael Jordan when he played for the Chicago Bulls, number 23, 6 championships, right? He was the man, right? He was the man in basketball. To this day, all these years later, people say he's still the man, right? Now, what did he do when he retired from Chicago? His number 23. What did he wind up doing? He didn't go into retirement, right? He wound up putting on another jersey for, at the time, it was the Washington Wizards, and he was playing in his old age. He couldn't produce like he used to produce, but something in here couldn't let go of who he used to be. Why? Because his who he was tied up in the game. And I want to ask that to you all. Is who you are tied up in the game? What game, Christian? Career, right? Career, successes. That's why you hear old guys talk about what they used to be. That's one of the things, that's one of the most dangerous things you can do. You can be so tied to who you used to be that you can't see who you're becoming. Oh man, let me stick right there for a minute, right? You can be so tied to who you used to be that you won't have eyes for who you're becoming. You got to let go of something to release yourself into something else. I had to let go of what people needed me to be to discover who I actually am, right? I thought I was a preacher. I thought I was this. I thought I was an author. And you know, in my older age now, you know what I'm finding out? I'm a father. And not just for children, not just for my children. I'm a father. I'm a father to many people because I'm a leader. I help people release their mind. I had to discover that. I got more rest now than I ever had at my highest success, right? I did. Because we think, a lot of us think, oh, if I climb this mountain and I get success, if I make it. But this is the question, bro. What's making it? What's making it? Let's hit on that for a minute. Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let me see. Good morning, Betty. Can I connect with you? Yes, you can go on my website at christianwinners.com and you can set up a one-on-one with me at christianwinners.com. When you go on there, you'll see one-on-one coaching, and you can set it up right there. Yeah, you can set it up, the coaching right there. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Essie. Good morning, my sister. All right. So this is the question. Where do I go? What do I go? And who am I? Well, you got to pause and decide who you are. And you let me tell you something. You have to take yourself out of other people's hand. Can I say that? Can you grab a hold of that? I want everybody to all the ladies on Facebook, please go over to YouTube if you get a chance. Go over to YouTube and just subscribe to the Dear Brother podcast for me. Right. I also have the Dear Sister podcast. Right now I'm streaming live on the Dear Brother podcast. Go over to YouTube and hit subscribe on there. And so you can get these lives every Monday, every Thursday, and every Friday. All right. All right. But I couldn't let go of who I was. And you know what it took me? It took me to sit down and pause. It took some tears, right? For you brothers that's listening, you scared, man, I don't cry. Brother, you better cry. You know what cry is? Cry is a mechanism to release pain, right? It's a mechanism to release pain. We were made like that. See, when you tell a man not to cry, what you're telling them to do is don't release your pain. And unreleased pain, the question is, where does unreleased pain go? Anything you don't let out goes somewhere. Don't think it disappears. That's what you got to know. Unreleased pain doesn't just disappear. Unreleased pain finds a place to hide. You know where unreleased pain goes? Unreleased pain, that's why some of us are dealing with health issues. Because unreleased pain, when you trap it inside of you, it messes with your body. It messes with that heart. It messes. You wonder why that blood pressure up? Because of the mind. It's something you won't release, right? Fear of releasing something, right? You know what it is? It's fear of the unknown. But you know what? Some of us, where you are right now, you know you're in pain. You know that you're dealing with doubt. You know you're dealing with low self-esteem. You know you're fighting with this. You know that, right? So when you talk about the fear of the unknown, well, what do I do if I let all this go? Well, some of us, it's better to go ahead and walk into an unknown future than it is to stay in a known place of pain. Freedom is walking into that place of the unknown. When I left everything I knew and who I thought I was, I had to walk into the unknown. It's dark in the unknown, right? But the unknown is where you find yourself. You know why? Because you can let go of the props. Do you know how many things you think you need that you really don't? Do you know how many people you think you need that you really don't? Do you realize how many places you think you need that you really don't? You will never find out that there's some things in your life that are flat out props. They're not healthy for you, right? There's relationships that's not healthy for you. There's people that are not healthy for you. But you know where we get stuck? We get stuck in a place where we are used to certain things. Just because you're used to something doesn't mean it's good for you. Come on. Just because you're used to a certain crowd of people don't mean they're good for you. And one of the best things you can do is let go of the past and walk into the unknown, because you might find out that you are strong all by yourself. Oh man, some of y'all don't even know your strength. You know why? You won't let yourself get to know. You will not let yourself get to know your strength because you won't walk by yourself. You want to talk about manhood? Manhood is when you go ahead and take that stroll by yourself to find out what you have. Do you know how some of you are ridiculously resilient? You won't know that because there's some people that don't want you to know your strength. Yeah. There's some people that don't want you to know your strength, because if you ever find out how strong you are, they might realize how unhealthy the relationship is. There are some people that are depending on your weakness. There are some people that are depending on your low self-esteem. There are some people that are depending on you not believing in yourself. Why? Because your weakness strengthens them. Let's get into it this morning. We ain't even start the podcast yet. We just chatting right now. All right, let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It can bring, yes, absolutely, Essie. It can bring anxiety and depression, for sure. Xavier, my man, I'm back, brother. I had to take a break, man. I was teaching every morning since July. I took a break. I've been thinking about you too, man. I'm glad you're back. I'm back live, bro. I'm dropping videos every day. Go on Dear Brother Podcast. You'll see the videos I drop. But I'm on now live 6 a.m. Monday, Thursday, and Friday, everybody. All right. So that's when I come on live, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Hit the like button in the YouTube. Everybody in Facebook, make sure you go over to YouTube. We're streaming live at the Dear Brother Podcast right now. Go over there and make sure you become part of the community. It's a healthy community. All right. So number one, freedom starts where fear ends. Number one, stop running from your weakness. Stop running from your weakness. One of the hardest things to do for men is to admit where we're weak. We rather act like we're strong, but the act don't last. The act don't last. I used to act like I was strong. You know where that act ended? That act ended in me becoming an alcoholic. Because I told you, the things we hold in, they go somewhere. All the pain you try to hold in, it goes somewhere. And if you can't find a release for it, if you won't release it through tears or you won't release it through conversation, you try to release it through a bottle. You try to release it through a blunt. You try to release it by being oversexed. Oh, yeah. Come on, man. You try to release it through anger. That's why a lot of men, we deal with anger. Yeah, because you're not really an angry person. You know, that's what people want to throw on your back. Oh, you just an angry person. No, I don't have a place to release this pain, right? So it comes out through anger. It comes out through addiction, right? There's a lot of things in your life. This is why you got to stop assessing everybody else as a man. Stop assessing everybody else as a man and assess yourself to figure out, how did I get here? How did I get here? How did I get here? There's a reason. There's a road that took you to that weakness, but you can't ever get over a weakness that you will not admit. right? Now, isn't it something that as an athlete will admit their weakness? Why? Because they're trying to run the race. They're trying to win the game. You got to identify your weakness so that you can strengthen it. We understand that as an athlete. We refuse to understand that as men. We refuse to understand that in order to become a better man, you got to focus on the weakness that's there. You can't run from that weakness. See, insecurity isn't shameful. Being insecurity isn't shameful. What happens is when you feel insecurity, what it's trying to show you is that there's a part of you that's been unaddressed. You see, this is what this thing is all about. When you feel shame, man, it's not to dig a hole. Shame is a signal. I got something that I haven't addressed. I got something in my life that I have ignored. Right? Let me put this up right now. Because this is how I end the show. I end the show with Dear Brother, the advice. And so if you put your if you need an advice on anything, marriage, family, whatever it is, ladies, I know there's some ladies that are a part of our community. Thank God for you. We would never put you out. I'm glad that the ladies are part of our community. But everybody, if you're in the chat right now and you want some advice before the show ends, put your advice in the chat right now, and I'll spend the last 15 minutes of the show hitting all your advice. It doesn't matter what it's about: marriage, business, raising children, challenging things you have in your life. Get this advice, okay? And so you can go in the chat right now and put your need for whatever that advice is, and I'll end the show addressing all that. All right. If you're in YouTube, hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, make your way over to YouTube, all right, and become part of the community, the Dear Brother Podcast. All right. Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, Ryan, my guy. Good morning. Let me see. I got to get adjusted to this new schedule. That's because y'all spoiled, man. I was up every morning feeding y'all, at 6 a.m. Monday, Thursday, and Friday, Ryan. That's what I'm, all right? Because I got a lot of things going on, man. Life is opening up. Doors are opening up, and I have to be on here at a new schedule, all right? Monday, Thursday, and Friday, all right? All right, everybody. Let me get back into it, okay? Today we're dealing with freedom. Freedom begins where fear ends, right? The first thing you got to do with your weakness is you got to name it, right? No, you can't just say, oh man, I'm feeling down. Oh man, I'm having a hard day. That's where we try to hide. That's where men hide. We won't say what it is. Because you know what? When you verbalize your pain, it makes your mind wake up. When you just say, oh man, I'm just going through it. Or I'm just going through some things. Oh man, it ain't nothing. That's how we talk. And when we talk like that, it ain't nothing. I'll just get through it. We're not addressing it in a way where our mind, you got to activate your mind and your spirit. And then when you activate your mind and your spirit, then you can address things. As long as you're lying about your pain, you can't address it. You got to name the pain that you're in. You got to name it. You got to name that disappointment. If you're disappointed, say it. Say it, right? If something happened to me a few days ago, man, maybe last week sometime, and I just went into a flat out, like, I dug myself a hole, and I was living in that hole, not really saying nothing for days, right? I was doing my thing as a man. That's what we do, right? We go to work, we get the money, we pay the bills, we take care of the people we love. As men, that's what we do, right? But that's not manhood. Manhood, the definition of manhood is not just to keep on going. Right? That's what they told us. Oh, man, if you're a man, get up, dog. Stand up. Do what you... No. See, that's like telling a man with a broken leg to stand up. It makes no sense. You have to address what's broken in order to stand up. You know what? Well, man, I'll stand up anyway. How long? How long, tough guy? How long you going to stand up on a broke leg? How long you going to keep on standing up with a broken esteem? How long you going to keep on standing up with broken emotions? How long can you keep on standing up as a disappointed person? Either disappointed in people around you that you thought loved you, or disappointed in yourself. How long? Right? Because standing up for a moment, that's instant gratification. That's what makes you feel better for a moment. But how long? How long? Because legacy ain't about something quick. Legacy ain't about a quick move. Legacy is about how long you can stand up. You got to be healthy to stand up a long time, right? When I was young, I had an old Baptist preacher. He said, you know what, son, you are very good, man. You're very good. But you know what, man, you got to slow your pace. He said, you're moving around the city. You're moving around the country. He said, you got to slow your pace if you're going to do this for a long time. And I'm going to say that to some of y'all guys. If you want to be successful for a long time, you got to change your pace. Oh, man. Come on, we cooking this morning. How long you want to be successful? How long do you want to be a good husband? How long do you want to be a good father? Because anybody can start. Anybody can start. Come on, feel me this morning, gentlemen. Anybody can start. Ain't about to start. A lot of people started. A lot of people got married, didn't make it. A lot of people started businesses, didn't make it. A lot of people started off as a great dad, didn't make it. A lot of people started off as a great businessman and didn't make it. See, the excitement of starting is an addiction. It's not about the excitement of starting. It's the legacy. How long can you stay down what you're doing? How long can you stand? How long you want to be successful? And I'm going to tell you, if you want to be successful a long time, you got to slow your pace. Why? Because I got to see the steps of how I got here. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with something that's disappointing, or you're dealing with something with slowing you down, name it. Why do I feel this way? What happened? Right? Trucking along don't work. After a while, you're going to break down. You hear what I'm saying? See, an engine light come on in your car. You just keep on ignoring it. Just because the car keep on running don't mean nothing wrong. Y'all feel me? Just because the car keep on running don't mean nothing's wrong. That engine light is a signal. And guess what? All of us have a human engine light. You know when something ain't right. Come on, bro. You know when something ain't right. You know when you feeling off. You know when that anger is creeping up. You know when you walk around pissed off and you don't really know why. You know when that depression's kicking in. You know when you can't really locate yourself. It's like Adam in the scriptures. Where are you, Adam? I don't believe God asked Adam where he was because God didn't know where he was. I believe Adam asked where he was so Adam could realize where he was. And for him to look up and say, dang, I ain't what I used to be. I don't think like I used to be. Man, I ain't as sharp as I used to be. You understand? You got to do your own assessment, man. And guess what? For some of you that hate people judging you, judge yourself. Come on, judge yourself. If you don't like people judging you, judge yourself. It takes power away from them. Judge yourself. Start assessing yourself. Don't be afraid to face your weakness. Number 2, we're dealing with freedom starts where fear ends. Number 2, redefine strength for yourself. What's strength for you? Strength for people around you don't mean the same thing for you. What's strength for you? Right? You can't live another man's journey. Right? One of my favorite quotes, I used to put this on Facebook. Don't be so impressed with another man's flowers in his garden. Right? You don't know what it took for him to get there. You don't know what it took. And just because you love the flowers you see don't mean you can stay in the weeds. Just because you enjoy the flowers in another man's field don't mean you can stay in the weeds. There's a lot of people that have said to me over my life's journey and my travels, oh man, I want to be you. Okay, you sure? You sure you want to bury your mom and dad? Right? You want to bury your mom at 50, your father at 59, your mother at 62. You sure? You sure you want to be me? You sure you want to bury a daughter? You want to hold a casket in your arms this big? Are you sure? You want to sit on a dialysis machine? You sure? Huh? You want to be homeless? You want to live in a car? You sure? You understand? So you can't compare your strength with another strength. What's strength for you? Because what's strength for me ain't what's strength for you. What's strength for you ain't what's strength for me. Right? Forget what the world says strength is. Real strength is owning your story with flaws included. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Real strength is living your story, not mine. And I can't live yours. Real strength, genuine, authentic strength is owning your story, the good and the bad, right? And then deciding that you are more than your failures. You are more than your flaws, my brother. You are more than what you've gone through. You are more than the losses you took. Come on, we cook, man. We cook. I feel like somebody's growing off of this morning. You hear what I'm saying? You're more than what happened to you. Don't define your life by what happened. You're more than your past mistake. You're bigger than your last bad decision. Come on, y'all. You're bigger than your last past decision. You're bigger than your last flaw. You are bigger than the last broken relationship. You're bigger than that. You're bigger than what people think you are. You always have an opportunity to change, because change starts in the mind, and change starts with what you think about you. What do you think about you? Well, Christian, I don't think much of myself. Good place to start. Good place to start. See, your thoughts of you don't have to be great for you to get where you got to go. The thoughts of you have to be honest. Come on. Your thoughts of you have to be honest. They don't have to be good thoughts. I dealt with years of low self-esteem. I had no good thoughts about myself, right? But then I got honest. Instead of saying again, oh, I'm just having a bad day. Why is your day bad? Oh man, this was a bad week. Why is it bad? Right? You got to get into the honesty. Be honest, bro. Be honest with yourself, number one. Be honest with yourself. See, a lot of y'all can't be honest with yourself, and then you get some woman somewhere, and you trying to be honest with her, and she don't care about your weakness, dog. She only wants your strength. You see what happened to Samson? He laid his head in the lap of the wrong woman, and it tore him all the way down. Right? Because if he admitted his weakness to himself, right? He didn't do that. Don't admit your weakness in the wrong place. Admit your weakness to yourself, right? That way, you know who to trust with that. Because listen, if you start building yourself up, you know what it feels like for somebody else to build you up. Don't wait for a woman to build you up. Don't wait for a relationship to build you up. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. You gotta build yourself. You gotta believe in you. Let me see who's in the chat. Everybody on YouTube, hit the like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning, kid. Calvin Jackson, you got to listen. Big brother is just I'm trying. Thanks, kid. Thanks, kid. All right. Number three. We're dealing this morning with freedom starting where fear ends. Number 3. Stop measuring yourself against the wrong rulers. Stop measuring yourself against the wrong rulers. We dealt with this a little bit in point number 2. Comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison is a thief of joy. All right? I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again and again. Comparison is the thief of joy. Right? You will never be happy with you as long as you're comparing yourself to others. You know how many successful people can't hold on to their success because they're always competing against somebody else or comparing themselves to somebody else. You know, brother, you are where you need to be for where you are right now. You are. Do you think that you're going to miss something? See, this is the thing. This is why some of y'all afraid. You scared you're going to miss something. That's why some of y'all going so fast in life. You scared you're going to miss something, right? I got married at 22 years old because somebody told me, the church folks told me, you got to get married. I thought I was going to miss something, right? You're going to get married, have kids, da-da-da. I was a kid. I didn't even know who I was getting married. I didn't know who I was having my first child. I had no clue. I was guessing the whole time. Right? But I was measuring myself by somebody else's ruler, right? They said, oh, in order for you to be looked at as this kind of person, you got to get married. So what did I do? I married a great person, ended up in divorce. I don't take nothing from her, right? I don't take nothing from her. And let me throw this in for some of y'all who've been in breakup relationships, right? Every woman you dealt with ain't a bad woman. Come on. You know what growing up is? Admitting the part you played. Admitting that sometimes you wasn't ready. See, it's easy to trash somebody else. Come on, gentlemen. Right? It's easy to trash somebody else. Can you admit the part you played? Can you admit you wasn't ready? Can you admit you was immature? Because that's manhood. And some of y'all that have been part of this podcast for a while, you know this podcast is where grown men grow. Right? We don't blame people here. We don't ride somebody else's coattails here. Because if you're going to be a great man, you don't look for who you can blame. You look for how you can grow, right? But refuse to measure yourself by somebody else's ruler. Again, comparison is a thief of joy. Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, Will. Good morning, my brother. Let me see. I say that all the time. Comparison, absolutely. It's a thief of joy because you can succeed and still not feel successful because you're looking at somebody else. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. When I first started this podcast, right, and it was growing. When I first started this podcast, it was growing. It was I had about 25 subscribers and 50 subscribers, right? And even though my podcast was growing, I still wasn't happy. You know why? Because I was comparing myself to other podcasts. And then one day, I really thought about it. I said, let me do some further investigation. And when I would go to the podcast that I was really impressed with, that had, 100,000 people, 50,000 people, I would look, and then I would look through their profile and I would see, oh, they started this podcast 4 years ago. Here I am 3 months in saying, dang, my podcast not growing. What I got to do? Stressing myself out. I'm in the podcast game 3 months, comparing myself with somebody who's been in it for 4 years. You see? And I wasn't happy with me. And even though I was growing, I was looking at my growth like it was nothing. Who am I talking to today? Right? Stop looking at your progression as if it's nothing, because you're comparing yourself to people who've been doing this thing a long time. Right? You can't do it, bro. You can't do it. And also, a lot of times in comparing, you're comparing to somebody who's a faking. Come on. You know how many people who build things, they fake their success, especially social media. They fake their success. Instagram is a lie. Facebook posts are lies, right? Threads posts are lies. X posts are lies. And everybody saying that what I got and what I did, everybody taking pictures of themselves in places and all this kind of stuff. And you start comparing yourself, and half that stuff ain't even true, man. That's a dangerous place for you to be chasing someone else's lie. Come on. This world ain't nothing but a stage, man, and everybody performing. That's why I'm trying to get brothers off the stage. Get off the stage and get back to yourself. Get off the stage and get comfortable in the seat that you're in. Because that stage don't do nothing but make you perform for people who don't give a damn about you anyway. That stage will make you perform and spend all your money on a woman who will never reinvest in you. That stage will have you at work trying to climb a corporate ladder where it's going to break for you at some point anyway. You better get back to yourself. You better get back to your worth. You better get back to self-care. You better get back to easing your mental pain and start finding stability, bro. Because that world is a stage and it's playing a lot of people. It's playing a lot of people, bro. I just took a part-time pastoral job at a senior care facility. And I learned a lesson working up there already, right? And this was the lesson. Walking around the hallways. One day I found myself walking so fast. I'm a fast walker. I'm walking. And I asked myself, why are you walking so fast? Yo, why are you walking so fast? And then something in my head said, because that's how you live your life. And then God said to me, walk like the older people do. They walking with their cane, or they walking with they walker, and they walking slow, they pacing themselves. And God said, I sent you here to learn. I sent you here to learn that if you're ever going to be really successful, slow your pace down. Where you going so fast? Because you know what you do when you walking fast and moving fast? You're not thinking. You're not pondering, right? You out of control. This is why some of us have gotten with the wrong people, have found ourselves in the wrong relationships. Out of control. Slow down. If you slow down, you wouldn't fall into so many pits. If you slow down, you wouldn't have ended up with that person in that relationship. You're moving too fast. You're too easily impressed. And you know where being easily impressed from? It comes from pain. You're just looking for a shot in the arm. You're looking for instant gratification. Instant gratification don't last. Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Let me see. Ryan, that's a fact. I was certainly the problem for most part. Yeah, we got to admit that. We got to admit that, man. We have to celebrate small victories along. Absolutely. Small victories is the one that leads you to the next ones. See, everybody's looking for a big victory. That's a good point, Ryan. Everybody's looking for a big victory. I know I am. And there's nothing wrong with having a big victory, but understanding that the big victory comes through the small ones. Now, why are small victories important? Because small victories teach you how to handle success. Ooh. Small victories teach you how to handle major success. If you ignore the small victories, you won't know how to handle the big ones. See, it's what you're learning, right? It's what you're learning, because guess what you don't want to do? You don't want to climb all the way to the top. You don't want to climb all the way to the top and realize you're not ready to be there. Y'all hear me, brothers? You do not want to get all the way to the top and realize you're not ready to be there. The top look good until you realize the responsibilities that it takes to last there. The top feels good till you realize that the air gets thin and it's hard to breathe at the top. Oh, I've been at the top. I've been at the bottom. I've been in the middle. I know what the top is. The air is thin. It's hard to breathe. You don't have real friends there. Oh, everybody want to be at the top. Let me warn you about the top. Let me warn you about the top. At the top, you're defending yourself more than living. At the top. The question is, what's your top? Because you're comfortable at your top. You know, another thing, you don't want to get to the top and realize that you got blood at the bottom of your shoes for all the people you stepped on to get there. And I want to say this to some of you brothers right now. Just because you got to the top, check the bottom of your shoes when you get there. Did you step on your family? Did you step on your wife? Did you step on your girl? Did you step on your homie? Who did you step on? If it's a blood trail to the top, dog, you failed. You failed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me see. All right. Let me get into this. I gotta go. All right. Number 4. We're talking about this morning. We're talking about, if you're just coming in, we're talking about the freedom, how freedom starts with the end of fear. Freedom starts where fear ends. Right? Number 4, let go of perfectionism. It's time to retire the lie that you got to have it all figured out. You do not have to have it all figured out. To be successful, you do not have to have it all figured out. That's the biggest lie I've ever been told. No, let me tell you this. Nobody has it all figured out. Even people that sell you courses about nobody has it all figured out. You know why? Because life and time and chance happen to everybody. Anything can happen today or tomorrow. Nobody can have it all figured out. That's like saying if you got it all figured out, that's saying you can control life. You can't control life. I never thought that I would lose a child. I never thought my parents would die early. I never thought I would be on dialysis. I never thought I would experience that. Right? I never thought I would experience that. I never thought that I would live in a car. I never thought that I would be so depressed that I would try to commit suicide. I know, come on. Control of what? Y'all got to go check my podcast out. Go check the other podcasts out that I got on the Dear Brother podcast called The Illusion of Control. You're in control of nothing. You know, that's another place that freedom starts. To realize you're not in control. The best thing you'd be as a man is have flexible strength. I'm cooking. Come on. Flexible strength. Be able to flow with life. And not lose it. All right, I got it. Okay. All right, I got to do. Okay. All right. You got to be able to shift through situations, be able to handle it, right? It's being able to sway with the beats of life. It's being able to figure it out. That's strength. Strength ain't trying to have it your way, because when you try to have it your way, then you don't know what to do when it don't go your way, right? Y'all feel that? Strength ain't having it your way, because what happens when it don't go your way? Do you quit? Do you become an addict? Do you go hide somewhere? Do you fall into depression? No, that's why this stuff happens to us, because we are convinced that this is going to happen our way. You don't control life. The wind to blow, brother. So this is the thing. Embrace the things that make you human. Because that's the beauty of you. Embrace the things that make you a human. Stop trying to be a robot. You're not a robot. And even if you want to act like a robot for everybody else, we all know when you by yourself, that's when you got to face you. I'd rather be a flawed person than be a fraud that tries to act like nothing is wrong with me. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Let me see who's in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Let me see who's in the chat. S.J. Williams, good morning, my brother. Good morning, fam. Live from Tennessee. Sorry for the... No, man, you listen, bro. No, sir. No, sir. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being... Wait a minute. I think your name is Steve. I think your name is Steve, bro. I think I just talked to somebody the other day. I think maybe your mother. If I got this wrong, I was trying to book an event, a live speaking event. And I think and she mentioned you in Tennessee. I'm so glad you're here, bro. If you're the same person, I'm so glad you're here, bro, because I was really talking well of you to your mom, man. Okay, yeah, Steve, man. My man, thank you for being here, brother. She been telling me so many good things about you, man, and how you've been growing from the podcast, bro. Man, I am so honored, Steve, that you listen to this podcast. I'm so honored of what you're receiving from it, man. Thank you for being a part of our community, man. Thank you all y'all, man. Thank y'all. I'm gonna tell you, we are almost at 1,300 subscribers. We might pass it this morning. Man, I remember having 5, but man, y'all have made this community. I would be nothing. I would be on here talking to myself without y'all, man. 1,300 subscribers, man, in 6 months. That's huge, man. And thank y'all. I really appreciate every single one of you. Everybody hit the like button on YouTube. Everybody go over to YouTube. Go over to YouTube, everybody. Even folks on Facebook, go over to YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that share button. Let's grow our community. We at 1,300, man. Let's get to 2,000 subscribers by March, man. If y'all believe in the podcast and what we teaching, man, go over there and let's get this thing to 2,000 subscribers, man. Let's grow our channel. Let's grow our community. It's a healthy community where grown men grow. I'm gonna put this up again. I want to end the show with the dear brotherly advice. So if you got any issues of life, man, you facing anything, you just need some bit of advice on, man, pop it in the chat right now. All right, pop it in the chat. Also, if some of you who need a one-on-one coaching, go to christianwinners.com. I do one-on-one coaching there. Is also if you have if you need somebody for a speaking event, you can book me as well on christianwinners.com. All right. Good morning. My guy, good morning, my brother. Good morning. Everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, that share. Also hit that notification button so you can know when I'm on. Ron McGee, that's what you need to do, bro. Hit the notification button on YouTube. That way, as soon as I come on, it'll send a text to you to let you know that I'm in the building. That way you don't ever have to miss it. Good morning, everybody. All right. Let me finish up here. All right. Let me finish up here. I'm not finished the show, but if you need advice, man, dear brotherly advice, jump in there. Relationship advice, whatever advice it is, man. Parenting advice, jump in there, man. I love giving advice more than I love teaching on the show. All right. Number five, find confidence in action. Find confidence in action. Confidence isn't built based on what you think about. Confidence is only built based on what you do. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Confidence is not built based on what you think about. It's based on what you do. So for some of y'all that's looking for coaching, when you come to christianwinners.com and you hit that coaching, you schedule your coaching, I'm not going to be light on you. I'm not going to pity pat with you. I'm going to challenge you into greatness. The world doesn't challenge us into greatness. The world wants you to be weak. I'm going to challenge you into greatness. I'm going to make you question yourself. We're going to go through some things. This is what I'm saying. Right? Why? Because you can't think about greatness. You got to start pursuing it. You're confident. If you want to build your confidence, it's not built just in talking. It's built on doing. Confidence is also built in failing. Oh, Christian, you tripping now. Ain't no way I could be confident and fail. Yes, you can. Because it's what you learn inside of failure. And I'm going to tell you, the biggest lesson you learn when you fail is that you had guts. Come on. See, some people think, oh, if I failed, I got to think about all the reasons I failed. No, you don't. The first lesson you take from failure is to realize, celebrate yourself. I had guts enough to get out there and try. Y'all feel me? I had guts enough to get out there and try. That's the first lesson you learn. And once you learn that, once you celebrate, see, because that's a victory. Oh, Christian, you bugging. How in the world failure a victory? Because you learned you had guts. You learned you had resilience. You learned you can get back up again. You learned that you wasn't what other people said you was. You learned that you was greater than other people's definition of you. You learned that you weren't your past mistake. You learned that. Celebrate that. Celebrate that. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all this. Take a risk. Take a risk. Come on, bro. What you doing? What you doing if you're not taking a risk on being great? What you doing? What are you doing if you're not taking a risk on being great? And some of y'all out there that's saying, man, I'm scared to fail. You failing already by not chasing success. Come on. Well, Christian, man, I'm scared I'm going to fail. You're failing already by not pursuing the things you desire. You're failing by overthinking about it. You're failing, bro. You're failing because you won't release yourself to try. You're failing because you won't go after it. You're failing because you're sitting on it. You're already failing. Y'all feel me? So you might as well go. I was a school teacher, man, for a year. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, oh man, I love being a teacher. I was teaching sixth, seventh, eighth grade, and I enjoyed it. But I'm not the type of person that can be stuck in one place all day. So as much as I love teaching, I said there's something else for me. Right. And so I said, let me see what else I can do in education. And something I was on Indeed. All right. I was on Indeed and I go on there and I see a principal position. Right. Now I was a teacher for 1 year and I see a principal position at this elementary school. And I'm like, yo, the first thing in my mind was, you can't be no principal, dog. You only taught for 1 year. You can't be a principal. You ain't got that in you. And you know what I said? I said, screw it. Why? Because I already determined that I didn't want to stay where I was. Y'all, oh man, come on, jump in there. Jump in this thing with me today. Jump in this thing with me. I had already decided I didn't want to be where I was. And here's an opportunity to go do something great. And I'm going to talk myself out of it. No. Because the fear is, what if they don't hire me? What if, so what? So what? If you already decided you don't want to be where you are, you got to make a move or you want to die where you are. I shot that resume. Man, they called me. I'm like, right? And I did 4 interviews with this school. And they called me right in June as I was leaving. They said, we want you and we want to pay you the highest salary that we don't even want to negotiate with you. We want to give you, come on. And I became a principal, right? Just like that, because I took a damn shot. Come on, take a shot, bro. Take a shot at what you want to be, right? And guess what? Taking a shot ain't always career. Taking a shot ain't always money. Taking a shot ain't always investment. You know what other shots you need to take? Apologize to people you hurt. What if they don't receive me? So what? Take a shot. Come on, go back and fix something you broke. Take a shot. Kill your pride. Take a shot. See, it's a lot of shots you can take. And as men, we sometimes think, the shot I need to take is to go ahead and be successful. Successful ain't always in your bank account. Success ain't always money with your career. Sometimes you could be a successful failure because you won't deal with the emotional issues of your life. Y'all hear what I'm saying? See, you can be a successful failure because you won't deal with the things in life. Take a shot. Take a shot. Right? Now, I was a principal for 1 year. They were mind blown. I ain't gonna go through the reasons I left. Right? It was a good school. You talking about? I was loved by the dads. See, I knew I was winning as a principal when I had dads every day getting out the car line, like yo. I was successful, but then something said it's time to go. I needed that experience because I'm gonna do something else in life. I know why I became a teacher. I know why I became a principal. It's something else later on in life. I know what it is already, right? But I left there. And it was like, okay, Christian, you bugging. See, my life has been an adventure, dog. I ain't saying be me. That's why I say I can't be you. You can't be me. My life is an adventure. And and I left there. Somebody say, well, why you bugging? You left there. No, something I needed to learn there. I belong to nothing. Everything I'm doing is for something later on, destiny in my head. But I left there, right? And it's like, all right, well, what you gonna do now? I built this podcast. See this podcast y'all on right now? Y'all listening to me? This podcast wouldn't have been built if I didn't leave being a principal. Yeah, because what I did, I said, look, as much as I love being a principal, as much as I love this, I know that's not ultimately who I want to be. I want to feed men. I want to be the voice for men and to men around the world. Right? And I had to leave that to chase this. That's why we're on here. This wouldn't exist without me taking a shot. You hear what I'm saying? And then the Lord let me to go ahead and take this position I am now. And I already told y'all what I'm learning. It ain't about the money. It ain't about me. It ain't that I got no money. But what I'm learning is it ain't about money. It's about experiences that groom you for greatness. Understand this, man. There's things you're doing in life that's preparing you for something else. And you got to be flexible enough to jump into that. All right? Every step forward removes you from insecurity. Every step forward removes you from insecurity. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see. Noah, You miss every shot you don't. Yes, sir, Noah. You miss every shot you don't take. Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. You miss every shot you don't take. Take the shot. Take the shot. And guess what? Guess what, Noah? If you miss the shot, and some of y'all played ball before, you missed the shot. What you do? You say, all right, my hands was off. It went a little bit too right, or I shot it too hard, right? What do? You adjust the shot. Ew, man, I thank God for y'all, man. Our community is dope. Hit the like button, hit the share button, man. We supposed to have 50,000 people in our community because this right here, we ain't playing around. A lot of other podcasts is playing on people and talking a whole bunch of nonsense. This joint right here, God gave us. This joint healthy, man. Grow this. Let's grow this podcast together, everybody. Let's get more men in here. We got 1,300. Let's get to 2,000. Let's get to 2,500. Right? It's a healthy community, bro. We ain't in here blaming women and all that. Right? We growing. But that's it, Noah. That's such a brilliant point. Take the shot. Every shot you don't take, you miss every shot you don't take. Yeah. And you adjust. You adjust. I'm a boxing fan, right? You know the greatest thing you can do in a boxing in a match is adjust. Adjust to what the other fighter's doing. You got to adjust to win that fight. You can't keep on fighting the same way. You know you taking an L. Don't sit there and take the L. You adjust. You adjust. What I gotta do? I gotta step right. I gotta step left. You gotta change my defense, right? It's learning. It's learning how to win. Every shot you take, even if you miss, you're learning how to win. You're not learning how to lose. You're learning how to win, man. You're learning how to win. Let me see. This is Steve again, my son-in-law. Okay. Okay. I got you, brother. Yo, y'all funny. My man. You gotta learn. You're learning how to win, man. Look, anybody needs some advice before we go, man? We in 53 minutes. I'm gonna use this last 7 minutes to give some advice. So anybody needs some advice, man, jump in the chat, and we can give you some advice before we go. All right. Make sure y'all visit christianwinners.com, man. 101 coaching there is donation based, man. Right. And I tell y'all often it's donation based because it was a time in my life I did not have any money and I needed help really bad. And some guys got money and they can pay for their coaching, and some guys don't have no money. And so I leave it wide open, man, for guys. If you got money, that way you can donate and you can help me help other brothers that don't have nothing. And for some of you brothers who have nothing, you shouldn't be held out from help because you have nothing. All right. That's why I make my coaching donation based. Some people say, man, you can be getting money. That's what's wrong with the world. Everything about getting money, right? Nobody cares about human capital no more. Everybody's about the cash money, man. You got to have people in this earth that care more about people than they do about cash. God will take care of me, right? I believe there's some guy who will come through and say, I need this coaching and give me 20,000 because he got it. And you know what that 20,000 allows me to do? Help a whole lot of brothers who ain't got 2 cents, and I can help them too, right? Every move in life can't be about the cash. Every move in life can't be about the cash. You hear what I'm saying? I want to say that to you, right? Learn from me. I'm not saying don't get no money. You need money, right? Money answereth all things. That's what the Bible say. But at the same time, there are some moves you make in life that can't be about the cash. And also understand, when you make those moves and make it not about the cash, it's not that you're going to go broke. God takes care of people, man, who are willing to do his will without trying to take money out of everybody's pocket, bro. Y'all hear what I'm saying? All right. Nobody needs no advice today. I know I'm on a delay though, because sometimes I'll be closing the show and y'all jump in the chat at the last minute. So I'm gonna give y'all a few more seconds before I get out of here. We got 5 minutes left. I would like to just close out at an hour. So we had 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes left. So if you do need some advice, man, on anything, dear brother, the advice is wide open to you. You can jump in the chat and I can share with you all before I get out of here today. I give advice on anything, man. Relationships, business. I've done a lot of things in life, man. I carried my own company for over 20 years. Did my thing. I'm a parent of 4 children. I got a son that's 20. I got 18-year-old twin girls. In fact, they'll be 18 next weekend. And I got a 7-year-old. I've been divorced. I've been through a lot of things. I can give some advice. So, but I'm so thankful for every one of y'all. Make sure you go hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, man, and make sure you share the podcast with other brothers who you know need something, man, for their everyday life. But my live shows aren't the only thing I do on the podcast. I also drop videos, right? There's some great videos on there right now that you can go see, man. Be a part of this community. And I thank y'all for being a part of the community. Y'all make this thing what it is. I would be nothing without y'all. So thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me today. Always remember this. You matter today. You matter to me. Make sure that you matter to you. It's all about you mattering to you too, bro. It's not just about you mattering to other people. You got to make sure you matter to you. All right. Also, we're going to end the show like we always do. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. All you got is right now. What you going to do with it? What you going to do about it? I love y'all. Be brilliant today, because you absolutely are. And I'm out of here. Peace, y'all.